I've been having a wee think. Now, look at this. This is Grand Theft Auto Online. We all know it, and a great amount of us all love it. And pretty much since maybe 6 months after finishing it, everybody was like, well, when's Grand Theft Auto 6? And obviously Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, blah 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 blah. And obviously there's a similar thing that happens with the consoles. Pretty much 6 months after PS4 and Xbox One were released is when they'll be getting the next iteration, because people can't wait, people can't be patient. And I can sort of understand that a little bit. And of course at the moment we're going through the mid-generational refresh cycle, where basically you got some people going, oh, here's the Xbox S, and now here comes Xbox One X, or some people calling it the Onyx. And it's all well and good and stuff, and we've got the PlayStation Pro, which is also all very well and good. But people are always going, you know, what's the true next gen console going to be like? And I think I might have a theory. Considering the development cycle of Grand Theft Auto games is gotten longer and longer for each game that's come out. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 was in development for a really long time. And when you consider there was over 1 million site photos and all the content they put in, all the tiny little bits of detail, like the fact that when you break a car window you crunch on the glass on the ground, you know, all the little features that are in it, all the textures. And you have to remember, the Grand Theft Auto 5 we have originally started on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And then they upgraded the Grand Theft Auto 5 to be on the PS4 and Xbox One. And then eventually, of course, to PC. So it all becomes kind of interesting. What exactly do they do next? And can they really shoehorn that much more into, you know, an 8th generation Grand Theft Auto 5? Sorry, 6. So that set me to thinking. It's probably going to be, let's see, how long's Grand Theft Auto been out? Let's see, about almost as long as this channel actually, so about 4 years. Now typically, the average development span of a Rockstar game, especially something like Red Dead, you know, and Grand Theft Auto, right about the 5 to 6 year mark. I think you're starting to see where I'm going with some of this, right? Now Red Dead is about to come out, and it is going to be massive. Nothing is going to want to come out at the same time as that game. It's going to be too big, it's going to be too awesome, it's going to take up too much mind share. Alright? However, 2 years from now, a lot of people are saying that is when we'll get a PlayStation 5. You know? Because now Sony are starting to talk about the idea that there could be a PlayStation 5, when originally Shuhei Yoshida had said if. But considering how well the PlayStation 4 has done and the goodwill behind the system, and the idea that the PS5 will be backwards compatible to the PS4, you know, I mean, they'll run Blu-rays and there'll be the similar coding because, you know, it's all x86 architecture anyway, so feasibly, you know, PS4 games could quite happily inhabit the PS5 space, whatever that might be. I consider that probably pushing more towards DigiGames by that point, because it'll be 2 years later in technology, 2 years later in internet, blah 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 blah. So we get Grand Theft Auto 6, we get PlayStation 5, and I think they'll happen about the same time as each other. I would even like to think that Grand Theft Auto 6 could very well be a launch title for the PS4. I mean PS5. Now I know what you're thinking, whoa, that's a lot of money to throw around, but think about it, Sony have made a lot of money through PS4 and through PlayStation Plus subscription. You know? So when you're doing okay, they're actually back in the black. You know? The PS4 has helped. The movies haven't. Their phones have come back up. The computers, I think they're still a sold off division, and I think their TVs are doing okay. They're not doing stellar, but they're doing okay. So between the Xperia line and the PlayStation line, things are looking good for Sony financially. Not brilliant, but good. Alright? If the other wings were doing better, then it would be looking really good. So, they launched PS5, however that comes out, whatever that looks like. I'm not going to get into all that craziness. But they do a deal with Rockstar. They drive a truckload of money up to Rockstar and go, look, we want your game to even be timed exclusive, or better yet, console exclusive to PlayStation 5. Think about that. Grand Theft Auto 6 locked to PlayStation 5. And some of you youngins out there may not know there is precedent for this. Back in the day, PS2 was the only place where you could play Grand Theft Auto 3. Back at the beginning. Not to mention that, like, when PlayStation started, it, you know, that was where Grand Theft Auto itself started. 1, 2 and London were all only on either PlayStation or PC. No one else. So it's definitely food for thought. The idea that Grand Theft Auto 6 and PlayStation 5 could be combined together, and think what that would do for sales for both. You know? Because Grand Theft Auto sells. And PlayStation, being locked, it's having that exclusively in its back pocket. Sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit. But this is just a theory. This is just thoughts off the top of my head. I'd like to know what you think, of course, in the comments below. So, as always, please remember to rate, favourite, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, as always, I nae bother.